Mike, lovely to meet you. Cassam from HeyUGuys.
Hey, Cassam.
Now, I wanted to ask you about the spotlight expose itself that we see at the centre of this movie. How difficult was it for you at the time to do the investigation and to kind of expose these issues that were so horrific?
Well, it's a very difficult investigation because the Catholic Church essentially is a secret institution. You know, in the United States, we have the First Amendment in our Constitution. It protects freedom of the speech, which most people know. It also protects freedom of religion, which means that the Church is allowed to keep its operations secret. They don't have to file the documents that a government agency would have to file, or a corporation would have to file, or even the documents that a nonprofit organization would have to file. So it was a very, very challenging endeavor. But in the final analysis, we discovered some horrifying corruption of the very worst kind. The story was much bigger and much more horrific than any of us in our worst nightmares had imagined. And ultimately, I think the story and the project has done a great deal of good. I think we've liberated tens of thousands of victims to come out of their misery and step forward and say that what happened to them is wrong, and understand that it's not their fault, it's not anything they did, that this is a problem with the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm. And the film itself touches on the beginning of the collapse of print journalism. Where do you think we are now with that? And do you think an expose like this could exist in this modern day?
Well, I know that it could exist today. I mean, here at the Boston Globe, for instance, our Spotlight team is even bigger than it was in 2001. In addition to that, there are a lot of very fine news organizations that are doing investigations of that quality and with that kind of impact. I do think we're in a period of transition. I think it's lamentable, regrettable, even shameful that editors are cutting their investigative staffs. On the other hand, I see a lot of online news organizations that are doing investigative reporting of the very highest quality. Some are using the for-profit model, some are using the non-profit model. I think there's a lot of experimentation, and I have faith that in the final analysis, we're going to get through this, and investigative reporting will survive and thrive. I think people need it, and perhaps more important, I think people actually want it.
Excellent. And finally, can I ask you, what's it like seeing your story up on the big screen?
It's very, very gratifying. A lot of the survivors of sex abuse have remained friends of mine. Phil Saviano is an example. You see him in the movie come to us with his box of evidence. And it's the most wonderful feeling in the world to see Phil feel validated by this movie. And it's wonderful to see him cheering the movie on.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mike. Cheers.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.